Welcome to Badasses. I'm your host, Kai Armstrong. Today on Badasses, imagine building a global empire, only to watch it crumble under the weight of public opinion and a body betraying you. In today's episode, witness the rise and fall of Chip Wilson, the man behind Lululemon, and discover how his unwavering vision became both his greatest strength and his ultimate downfall, leaving you questioning the price of non-conformity and the legacy we leave behind. The trembling in his hands tells a story. Sitting alone in the dim light of his Vancouver office, Chip Wilson stares at a pair of black yoga pants spread across his desk. His breathing comes in shallow bursts. The muscles in his arms, weakened by a relentless disease, struggle with even this simple task. You wouldn't expect to find the billionaire founder of Lululemon here, wrestling with both physical frailty and the weight of a legacy that slipped from his grasp. You need to understand something about vision. It's not just about seeing what others can't. It's about the willingness to stand alone when everyone tells you you're wrong. In 1979, Wilson saw something in the emerging snowboard culture that others dismissed as a fad. West Beach Snowboard Limited wasn't just his first company, it was his first rebellion against conventional wisdom. The sound of carving snow and the rush of mountain air filled those early years. But Wilson knew better. He wasn't selling equipment, he was crafting identity. Each piece of apparel carried the DNA of a counterculture movement. The success was intoxicating, but something gnawed at him. A deeper calling beckoned. At 32, the diagnosis came: facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy, FSHD, a progressive muscle disorder that would slowly rob him of his strength. For a man who built his life around physical activity, it was a cruel twist of fate. But here's what you need to understand about Wilson. Limitations never defined him, they fueled him. Picture a young boy sitting in his mother's sewing room. The rhythmic hum of her machine fills the air while shouts from his father's physical education class drift through the window. This is where it began, not in some corporate boardroom, but in the space between these two worlds: athletics and craftsmanship, movement and material. You can see him there, absorbing everything, his mind already working differently from his peers. When Wilson launched Lululemon in 1998, people thought he was crazy. But he wasn't selling pants, he was selling transformation. Every stitch, every seam, every fiber of that revolutionary Luon fabric carried a message: movement is life. The yoga studios in his stores weren't a marketing gimmick, they were temples of possibility. The success was explosive. Women weren't just wearing Lululemon to yoga class, they were wearing it everywhere. You could feel the culture shifting. Athletic wear wasn't just for athletes anymore, it was for everyone, or was it? The cracks appeared slowly at first: quality issues, production problems. But the real storm was brewing in Wilson's unwavering vision of excellence. His commitment to exacting standards clashed with the growing demand for inclusivity. You see, he believed in creating the perfect product, even if that meant not everyone could wear it. The world was changing, but Wilson stood firm. If you're enjoying Badasses, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, The Mental Fortitude Challenge. Explode your confidence by channeling strategies from Roosevelt, Bruce Lee, and more. Now back to the episode. Then came the words that would haunt him. In a televised interview, Wilson suggested that some women's bodies just don't work for Lululemon's pants. The backlash was immediate and fierce. You could feel the ground shifting beneath the empire he'd built. His commitment to uncompromising quality had collided head-on with society's demand for inclusivity. The boardroom battles that followed were brutal. In 2013, he stepped down as CEO. But while the public saw a controversial figure falling from grace, something else was happening behind the scenes. The same disease that had been quietly stealing his strength for decades was accelerating. Every morning brought new challenges. Simple tasks became mountains to climb, yet Wilson refused to surrender. In 2022, he made an announcement that stunned the business world. He would commit $100 million to find a cure for FSHD. Not for himself, it was too late for that, but for future generations. The man who had built an empire on physical perfection was now fighting for those who struggled with their own bodies. You see him now in his office, still studying that pair of yoga pants, but something has changed. The trembling hands tell a different story. They speak of resilience, not weakness, of a man who understood that true innovation isn't about creating something perfect. It's about creating something that moves humanity forward, even if the path there is messy and controversial. Lululemon transformed how we think about athletic wear, but that's not Wilson's real legacy. His true gift was showing us that our limitations, whether they're physical, social, or self-imposed, are often the very things that drive our greatest innovations. When his body began to fail him, he didn't retreat. He redirected his fierce determination toward a new mission. This brings us to you. What are you fighting against? What limitation threatens to define you? Wilson's story isn't about yoga pants or billion-dollar companies. It's about the courage to let your struggles fuel your vision, not diminish it. To stand firm when the world demands you conform, yet remain humble enough to learn from your battles. Today, Chip Wilson continues his work with Solve FSHD, turning his personal war into hope for others. The trembling in his hands persists, but his vision remains clear. In the end, it's not about winning every battle. It's about choosing to fight for something bigger than yourself. And you, what will you choose to fight for? What limitation will you transform into your greatest strength? The answer lies not in avoiding the struggle, but in embracing it as the source of your unique contribution to the world. Choose life. Choose to let your challenges shape your vision, not destroy it. That's the real legacy of the man who dared to see possibility in a pair of yoga pants. On the next episode of Badasses, Chip Wilson showed us how grit can build an empire from the ground up, defying convention and creating a cultural phenomenon. But what happens when grit meets age, and an entire life's worth of experience is funneled into one last, audacious gamble? Have you ever wondered if it's truly too late to reinvent yourself, to chase a dream that seems impossibly out of reach? This week, we uncover the inspiring journey of a man who, against all odds, transformed a humble social security check into a global phenomenon. Prepare to be amazed by a story that proves it's never too late to fry up some success. You absolutely won't want to miss how he did it. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, the 7-Day Mental Fortitude Challenge. What if 7 days could make you bulletproof? Steal confidence strategies from warriors, rebels, and icons who turned panic into power. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/BA. Thanks for watching.